Okay, hello and welcome Team Blue Box. You will be talking about community outreach and how you'll spread STEM and FIRST through your team. So yeah, get on to it.
Hi everyone, we're Team Blue Box, Team 11780 from Windham, New Hampshire. So today we're going to be talking to you about community outreach and how we spread STEM and FIRST throughout our community.
You want me to present it?
Sure, go ahead. So today, Stephanie, Emily, me, Hannah, Gori, Sri, and Anna from our team are going to be presenting this presentation. So we are an all-girls team from Windham, New Hampshire, and we are currently made up of 7 girls entering from 7th to 11th grade. Every one of us has participated in our currently participating in FLL, and we all have experience doing both FLL and FTC. So today we're going to introduce what is community outreach, and then we're going to show you how we do community outreach and how you guys may be able to do it too. So here are some resources. Under the FTC resources title, you can see that there's a community outreach. So if you want to learn more about community outreach or might want to get more ideas, then go down to that link and check it out. We also have the FIRST resource libraries, which will show you other important things that you might need to know in FTC or FIRST in general. We also have FTC tutorials by FRC teams and FTC teams, so go check those out. We also have the FIRST Tech Challenge blog. We have engineering notebooks and other training material. And we have the Orange Alliance, which shows you the teams and events and official results. So community outreach is about sharing our work with robots. It's also about spreading STEM and FIRST throughout your community. So it doesn't always have to be about your robot. It could be about spreading FIRST and spreading STEM. You just need to outreach to as many kids as possible and as many families as possible and try to get them interested in working in maybe a STEM program or FIRST itself.
We consider there to be 3 types of outreach. The first type of outreach is professional, and it functions to connect. With professional outreach, we focus on communicating with professionals and experts in the field of study that we want to learn more about. This allows us to learn more directly from the people who are creating the technologies we're using and allows us to directly see what is going on with the new and emerging technologies that we see and use. This also allows us to form contacts and communication with people who are already working in STEM industries. The second type of outreach we focus on is community, to motivate. With this type of outreach, we want to show our community what STEM has done for us and what it can do for them. We host local events and we host workshops to show kids exactly what STEM can bring. The third type of outreach is FIRST, which functions both to connect and motivate. Connecting with local FIRST teams and teams that you see at competition is incredibly beneficial. Everyone can learn from each other, whether it's about robots or how to present better. And it's always nice just to see another friendly face at competition. Connecting with local STEM teams has wonderful benefits, and it's a great way to outreach. Team recruitment. Team recruitment is a great opportunity to inspire others to join your team. At local events or demonstrations, you can share what you've learned and demonstrate your robots to others. You can introduce fun activities your team has planned and organized in order to show the benefits of FIRST and what joining your team has to offer. For our team, one thing we like to do is to build soccer robots out of EV3 FLL parts and allow kids at a local STEM fair to drive them. This allows kids to experience just what fun it is to drive a robot around on a field and allows them to think about what they would do if they were to create a robot of their own. Outreach awards. There are 2 outreach awards that can be earned in FTC. The first outreach award is Connect, and it's about connecting the dots between community first and the diversity of the engineering world. With this award, you really want to show your community what FIRST and STEM have to offer and how they connect with each other. For example, local STEM fairs and tech fairs. You can host workshops and teach local kids about robotics, and you can collaborate with local businesses and organizations to show what your team really does. The second award is Motivate, sparking others to embrace the culture of FIRST. Whether it's working with teams at your level to communicate and exchange knowledge, or mentoring younger teams and showing them what their full potential truly is, the Motivate Award is a great way to help others to experience the FIRST culture and its benefits.
Okay, so what is community outreach? What are our key points? I'm sure they've already discussed what is community outreach. So here are just like some of our key points with community outreach. We think that it's really important to focus on the community that you want to target, because that's how you're going to make sure that all your content and all that you are trying to convey to your audience is appropriate. Such as if you're talking to kids, you want to make sure your information isn't too high level or uninteresting that you might drive the kids away from STEM. And we all know that's not a good thing. STEM is really important and it's really cool to get kids involved. And of course, on the other side, if you're talking to a professional, you want to make sure you stay straight to the point. You want to make sure you're not wasting their time giving them information that maybe they don't want to listen to. So it's really important to target your audience, because otherwise they might feel like you're wasting their time. With that, we want to make sure everyone starts at a manageable level. You don't want to be doing too much community outreach at first if you're not prepared, if you're not ready for it. Maybe if your team is still new, you can start with things such as like back to school, STEM fairs, or community events, or robot demonstrations, what you already have. Just basically talking to kids and parents about what you guys are doing, still reaching out to your community, maybe not on such a big scale as this 24-hour Zoom is, but still also reaching out to your community. With that, you want to make sure that at all of these events, you're really talking to local companies, local people who might potentially be your sponsors. So it's really cool at these local events because you get to learn, oh, there's a lot more people in my community that are interested in STEM, interested in getting involved. So these are just opportunities for you to talk to people who might be able to help your team, might be able to give you money. And with that, of course, community outreach is practice for any formal sort of presentations, either during the judging room or to future sponsors if needed. Okay, so next we're going to move on to using social media. Of course, I'm sure everyone knows how important social media is, especially in today's day and age. We suggest things such as a website or a YouTube account and Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of those and more if your team can manage. And it might seem like a lot, but a good combination of all of these hits all of like your audiences. A website is seemingly more professional. So if you want to direct sponsors or just like educate people in general, you can put more words on a website. They're very good for that. A YouTube channel is just quickly showing people this is what I do in a video form. It's more physical, it's more interactive. And as for like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, they're really good for like updates and keeping people notified. Okay, this is what you're doing. We're doing things such as this 24-hour Zoom, or we're going to go to the park and outreach to you guys. So these are like really cool ways you can use your social media. And it's really important to be using social media because it helps you connect to other FIRST teams. and that you can learn from, because when you see what other teams are doing, you might feel encouraged to follow in their footsteps. You might be encouraged to ask them, oh, how did you do that, or something like that. And also let you be more involved with the FIRST community, because you can, of course, like, comment, post within all of like the FIRST community. You can show people what you're doing, people can show you what you're doing, and maybe you guys can have a conversation. It also lets you share your ideas. So if your team has any certain like projects that you guys are working on, you can share them on a social media and maybe get other people's opinions, get other people's feedback, and see what they think, if they think they could do similar things, which would be really cool, because FIRST is all about sharing your idea, sharing what you have, because STEM is more fun when you share, right? And so you can find teams that will help you with your issues, and you can help teams when they come to you with your issues if you're an older team. And it's really cool to have that kind of relationship with other teams, because it just builds your presence in the community and also helps you stand out more in like judges' eyes. With that, social media, like I said, with a website or something more professional, it can help you with sponsors, with people who you want to help your team, like a mentor, a future mentor. It really shows them this is who you are and this is what you want to do. Okay, so continued. These are just some of our ideas on what you should post, maybe what you should put on your social medias. Make sure that when you're doing outreach, you want to make a post or like a video or something about it, because you want to make sure the word gets out, the people know that you are doing this, so that you can reach the most people at whatever event or meeting you are having. With that, on your website, you want to make sure you put your team's mission statement, because those are usually 1 or 2 sentences that quickly tell your audience, whoever's on your website, this is who you are, this is what you're trying to do. That way, when sponsors go on your website, they can see, oh, very clearly, our team wants to focus on reaching out to people and showing people STEM through robotics. Of course, you want to put team pictures on your website, because it's always better to put like a name to a face rather than just a whole bunch of words on a page. You want to show people what kind of outreach you're doing, what kind of volunteer work you're doing, because when people are thinking about investing in you and sponsoring you, they want to know that you guys are doing good things for the community. You are reaching out. Not only are you learning and doing great things with robotics, you're also helping other people learn and doing great things, and that might make them more interested in you. And of course, generally let your audience know this is what your team's all about. This is what you're doing to help the community. Okay, and so I'm sure you all know that social media has a lot of different tools like DMs, messaging, comments. Discord is another messaging platform. These are different ways that you can get in touch with other teams if you think maybe they can help you with your issues, and or maybe just like chat with them about different methods about their season, because it's really cool to get that different ideas, because all teams tackle the challenge differently, and maybe you want to try a new way. So that's it for me.
So these are some just things that Blue Box as a team has done in our community outreach. And we just wanted to share our experiences and then what we learned and basically our principles of some good outreach opportunities. So one thing that we've done, that we've learned actually, is that we need to share our learning experiences with others. And that's one important reason why we do community outreach, because it's important to share all of our experiences with other teams so all of us can learn from each other. So as you can see, This is us showing our FLL robots, our junior FLL model, and our soccer robots that Stephanie mentioned earlier at the Wyndham Center School annual STEAM fair. And in our school district, we have these STEM fairs, STEAM fairs that are very good for presenting different robots and presenting things like STEM, because that's what it's there to promote. And so we could really learn from each other, because the kids usually have a bunch of new, fresh ideas that we wouldn't think of. And then they can also learn all about FIRST and what FIRST is all about and how they can integrate FIRST into their lives the way that we've integrated into our lives. And so our second thing is that what we discover is more important than we win. So that's on the basis of things that we discover stay with us for the rest of our life. And in our opinion, the memories of our discoveries are most important. And so whenever you do outreach, each experience should be meaningful. So it should definitely, everybody should take something away from it. And so here are two things that we felt we took a lot of stuff away from. And so first was our opportunity to teach refugee children at the University of Buffalo, that's in New York. And it's an amazing experience because in a normal situation, these refugee children wouldn't have an opportunity to have STEM integrated into their lives. And so in doing this outreach, we can show them how amazing STEM is, and that can now be integrated into their lives, which it wasn't able to reach them at such a far distance before. And so we were really grateful to have that opportunity. And then we also discovered how fun it was to volunteer at the animal shelter. And so outside of just spreading STEM, you could also just do some good for your community, just so you get to know your community, because that's important too, because you can't share your ideas with everyone unless you can connect with everyone on maybe like a more personal level. So that was really important for us as well. And so also, most importantly, we believe that kids will learn better and be more inspired from the same age group of kids. That's us, Blue Box. So we've hosted many robotics workshops and taught many students at the University of Buffalo, Connecticut University, and the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. And we were supposed to be teaching at the University of Maine this year, but since it was canceled because of Corona, it's going to be scheduled for April 2021. And one thing that we do is that we go to MIT and we give robotics demonstrations to all the kids in that area. And we believe that, again, kids will learn better from kids. Because sometimes when an adult is teaching a kid, the age gap can make it harder to understand. So us being kids, being able to relate with other kids, we can help spread the message of STEM so much more than if it was maybe an adult. And so we really get that kind of heart to heart, hey, I'm a kid, you're a kid, we can both do STEM together kind of connection.
We display gracious professionalism and cooperation in everything we do. Gracious professionalism and cooperation is being able to work with and respect other people, whether it be your teammates that you're working with or an opposing team in a competition. For all teams to have fun, we have to display gracious professionalism and cooperation. This is important for all teams to feel good about themselves. Putting aside your differences to work towards a mutual goal is an important part of reaching out to other people and teams. One example of gracious professionalism and cooperation would be our team, Blue Box, working with our brother team, Banana Box, because we share a space, and even though we compete against each other, we have to build off each other to improve our robots. We also like to mentor for FLL teams, which is a great way to reach out to younger children because they're already interested in the robotics at this point. And then getting them introduced into FTC is a great way to spread the FTC spirit and then also get them interested in that. Every year, we also like to go to the MIT IEEE Research Technology Conference. While we're there, the FLL teams get to share their project and presentation and get feedback from professionals in the STEM community. And we can also talk to different college students and professors from around the world, which is a great way to spread FIRST on a very wide range. And then while we're there, the FTC teams like to have a workshop to teach younger kids how to work with the Lego EV3 robots. It's a great way to get younger kids interested because they're working hands-on with the robots themselves, and that way we can also talk to parents in the STEM community. We also go to our local town's Harvest Fest every year, which is a great way to get to talk to parents and adults more locally and get to talk to kids more locally. We can teach young kids who are there for trick-or-treating to make LED torch lights, which is a fun hands-on way to get them to learn a simple circuit, and it's really cute. Yeah.
I think we're waiting for Shri, except
I think
she
she's
might be frozen. So, Alyssa, do you want
Okay.
to start?
So, well, while we're sorting out this technical difficulty, I will start and she can jump in whenever she's ready. So, the New Hampshire Tech Fest. So, we went to New Hampshire Tech Fest, and that has been showcasing all the most exciting new careers now to all students over all the states. So, there are video game developers to drone racers. Okay.
It's okay. She's on now.
Drone racers to roboticists, and there are fields of interest for every student.
Shri?
While at the New Hampshire Tech Fest, we also got to meet other FLL, FTC, and FRC teams as well, and hear about their projects and robots as well. It was great to see other FLL and FTC teams to exchange ideas and learn from each other as well. Another opportunity of community outreach for our team was being invited to the 50th anniversary of Apollo at the McCall Shepherd Museum, where we got to meet Governor Sununu and share our FLL projects and robots with him, as well as other FLL teams, and spread our knowledge about FIRST and STEM to others visiting the museum. At the 2019 FLL State Championships, we got to give back to the FIRST community who have always supported us by lending a hand in building the LEGO trophies. Through this, we also grew the team by working together. Most recently, due to the pandemic, our team, as well as Banana Box and Icebox, have been making masks and mask extenders and donating them to first responders to show our support and appreciation for putting their lives at risk for us.
During this COVID-19 time with quarantine, hold on, am I still muted? Oh, okay. We organized with Banana Box every Friday in April and May during the stay-at-home order for 8 weeks. We put up a 60-minute session to share our learning experiences with other FLL teams and to discuss problems and solutions of our projects and robots. We also practiced core values, played Kahoot, and did instant challenges online so that we could further share our learning experience. We also organized with Banana Box another Zoom meeting for FTC, and we did this to share our learning experience, to discuss problems and solutions of our FTC robots. We had some guest hosts, Brady Goats 15772 and Gluten Free 11115 and Vertex 15534. The last meet was coaches panel discussion with 10 coaches on the panel. It was really cool to have many coaches answer our questions and to hear from different views of FTC and building.
Okay, so we also went to the Young Inventors Program, which is a program organized by the Academy of Applied Sciences. It's a K-12 project-based learning curriculum, and through hands-on learning, research, and testing, students explore STEM principles and develop 21st century skills in decision-making, design thinking, and communication. So they would enroll into this program, and then they would build an innovative solution to a problem that they want to solve. Once they find and create a presentation for that problem, they would video themselves presenting their problem, and we would get the videos back towards us. As you can see in the photos, you can see us watching videos, talking it through, and discussing how well they presented, how innovative solution is, if it was feasible, and how much it cost. So we were invited and spent about 2 weeks to judge all 15 inventors by students from grade 7 to 9. So if you guys want to do any of the past things that we've mentioned, you guys can use your social media platforms, start talking to people around your communities that might have an event which you might want to go to, see if they will invite any of you to join in one of their events. If you want, go to a school, ask them, hey, if you guys have an FLL team, can we come in and mentor? Or if there is some giant community event that you want to go to, ask if you can set up like a small little booth where you can like teach students, you can bring your robot. Also a good thing to do is find some FLL teams around you, see if they might be interested in having someone come over and help them, teach them how to maybe build a robot, program, talk about their project, do some core values, like some fun core value things. You can also, in this time, you can also have like Zoom meetings with your team, other teams, start contacting teams, maybe get some contacts right now. You can start contacting other teams, see if they want to be like, hey, you want to go talk, or you want to share information or share ideas. You can do that, or you can host your own Zoom calls like these, maybe like a smaller idea. You can also see if there's any like virtual programs that might need like judges, volunteers. Also, you can volunteer at places that would work with your, with your theme this year. So for example, maybe if it's sports theme, right? Go volunteer at some sport related area. Go like maybe teach some kids how to play sports, like we did in the animal shelter. That was for animal allies, and a few years ago, the animal themed. So we went to the animal shelter to go talk, and that way it makes it, you're doing a goal and it's on topic for what is that season. Oh. So, any questions?
I mean, it's okay if there's not that many. Community outreach is pretty straightforward.
Yes, we do. We did have a question from Ken St-Hilaire, and he or she needs to know what the box means in blue box, ice box, banana box, etc. Is there a special meaning behind it?
Oh, so
Yes, there is. So Blue Box, when we the team name was created, we were originally an FLL team, and the Blue Box was a very special kit of FLL parts that allowed us to build new and exciting robots. And we saw it as, even though it was a box, something that's usually thought of boxing something in, making it something more confined, we saw the box as a path to new ideas and new experiences. So we decided that our team name would be Blue Box as a way to inspire us to think outside the box and find new solutions to any problems we encounter.
That is a very nice meaning to your team name. I've got some more questions for you. We still have some time to fill up. Is there a reason for you being an all-girls team, or is it just coincidence?
It's more coincidence, but we do have like a brother team. So it was just, we had to split all the kids who came to our robotics sessions organization. And the boys kind of wanted to be with the boys, and then the girls were just kind of here. So it was more or less coincidence. This is our first year being an all-girls team, so that's really cool. But I think we're staying an all-girls team this year, so.
Unfortunately, it had to go this way with COVID. There's another question. What has been the biggest challenge transitioning from FLL to FTC?
Well, first thing, FLL, it's based on Legos, and Legos are something that I grew up with. I knew how to build it, but jumping straight into like metal, using bolts and nuts, it was a little confusing because I was so used to like Legos, you just put the pin in, then you put the beam on, but now you have like almost infinite amount of ways that you could build something, that it's kind of hard for me to be like, oh, I want to build this, and then I have like 8 different ways to build it. So I have to like deduct which one would be the best way to do the task. Also, FLL is a project. So project is like presenting your project, and FTC doesn't have that. So we focus mainly on a robot. So having all that time to focus on the robot can get me a little stressed, because when something's not working, I can't switch off to another little like section of FLL and like maybe like clear my head a little bit. I have to work on the robot. And also, like, it's kind of intimidating when you're like an 8th grader and then there's like 12th graders competing against you.
Yes, I can imagine.
Also, another part of it that is kind of difficult to make the mental shift to is that in FLL, your robot is autonomous. So you have pre-programmed everything, the path is set, you just watch it unfold at competition. You can make small tweaks in between rounds, but all the prep you did beforehand is what you can do, and you can only sit there and watch as the robot performs its runs. In FTC, you're the one running the robot. It is not autonomous. It is human operated. So there's that added element of stress there. It's a different kind of stress. It's instead of, oh no, I can't do anything, it's, oh no, what am I going to do? Different types of stress at competition. So it's a little bit of a adjustment to make in between levels.
Do you feel like having control over your robot during an FTC match is more interesting than just watching your robot perform on an FLL table?
That's a difficult question.
Like 2 separate things.
I mean, there's an added element of, again, like Hannah said, there's an added element of stress because you're the one controlling the robot. So sometimes you can feel that if something goes wrong, it's your fault. Meanwhile, if something goes wrong in FLL, it could be a fault in the code, it could be something's wrong with the game field. So there's more loopholes in FLL than there is with FTC, but it's so much more fun because, again, if something does go wrong, you have control. So you can actively fix it while the match is going on. So you have that control. But there's a downside to having that control is that if you mess up, because human error is most definitely a thing, is if you mess up, you can sometimes feel that there's so much pressure on you because it's your job to make sure that the robot doesn't fail. Meanwhile, if it's already pre-programmed and autonomous, there's not much that you can do about it instead of just watch. And there's there's more criteria, there's more room for error in FLL, and that kind of narrows down in FTC. It can be more pressure, but it's so much more fun too.
Okay, just a little rewind of your presentation. You earlier said that one of the most important things about outreach is that you connect with the kids on a personal level. What would be your favorite experience you had during connecting with those kids on outreach events?
The most fun thing I think when connecting with little kids is their imagination.
Yeah.
They don't really have like a border of what they can't do. So talking to them, you get a bunch of new ideas from them that not withheld. So they'd be like, oh, I want to build a dragon. Or, hey, I want to go build like a giant playground with a bunch of lights and it's all going to be it's going to be a bunch of robots and it's going to be like a flippy slide and everything. So it's great to see how the imagination grows and just seeing how you can get ideas from them and how they are like unhindered by problems. They will keep on like if they were like running into a wall, they'll just keep on running into that wall until they get past that wall. They see problems and like they're like, oh no. They don't go, oh no, that's a problem. I can't get over it. They find a way to like jump over it or move through it, which is an amazing thing that like everyone should be able to learn, because in life there are problems, but you can get past them with enough determination.
Yeah, that is a very nice answer. I got another question on YouTube from Wouter Levering. How long have you been working together as a team?
So we have a new member in here, Anna. She just joined like a few weeks ago. I mean, we've known her from FLO, but she's just joined us in FTC. Because we're all different ages, we've all joined FTC at different times, but we've all generally known each other for at least like a year or two. I know me, Alyssa, and Hannah, and Emmy, we've been doing this for like 5 or 4 years. And then Shri and Gori joined us this past season. So, I mean, for a few of us, it hasn't been that long, but we've all been part of FIRST for a while.
Okay. I have one more question myself. What would be your golden tip to help out new starting FTC teams with outreach? As I know myself, it's quite difficult to start off.
I would say if you're just starting out at outreach, you are a newly formed team, you don't already have a lot of contacts within FIRST or just in general the STEM field, I would focus on making contacts within FIRST and within other teams, because there is some incredible advice and knowledge about FIRST that can really only come from those who have experienced personally. So maybe communicate with alumni of your team or others, connect with local teams and exchange knowledge and see how your experiences line up and maybe where they differ. So yeah, before anything else is approached, I would say communicate with other teams locally or across the world. We've got social media now. Focus on communicating with other teams because there's a lot they can teach you and there's a lot you can teach them.
Also, like, see if like any of your team's parents have maybe a contact to their overall company. See if you can like, hey, can I borrow their number? Or hey, can I have their social media? I want to go reach out to them. I want to see if I can maybe build something, go over, maybe host a robotics session. Like we hosted robotics sessions which taught kids how to build robots. So like maybe do that on a smaller scale. Ask your library, see if there's any way I can like put in a summer program with my team leading how to build a robot or something.
Yeah, and just make sure, like we said before, keep it manageable. If your team doesn't feel like you're ready to do like a whole on robotics workshop or teach some kind of course, you can always just go to like your towns. Like we have a harvest fair where just like little kids trick-or-treating around at tables. Find a STEM fair or something, get a table and just show people, hey, this is my robot, this is what we do. You don't have to start off on such a big scale, like teaching a class or like going somewhere and entertaining someone with your knowledge or something.
There are a lot of these kind of things out in this world. It's like Reddit forums, Discord, you can get a lot of stuff on that. And another good thing is you can also find out how other teams are reaching out by actually like attending their robotics workshops, or if you know they're going to have a table at a STEAM fair, attend that STEAM fair, because it's good to see how other people do things. Like literally, if you're seeing them and you're connecting with them in person, it can be easier because you can see, okay, how are they doing this, because they already have previous experience with this. And maybe attending a workshop, you can see how they connect with kids and how they're able to teach. And so you can learn from other teams hands-on as well, instead of just contacting them beforehand. So that's also cool.
Okay, I think that is it. I see no more questions. Thank you very much, Team Blue Box, for joining us today in the 24-hour STEM challenge. We really enjoyed your presentation, but we're running out of time, and we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you very much.
Thank you for
Thank you for
hosting.
having
Thank you for
us.
having us.
Oh, no problem. We'd love to.